Think Mungai Eve is just another YouTuber? Wrong. This is the story of how a girl from Gachiku village turned the streets of Nairobi into her empire. Born Everlyn Wanjiku Mungai on April 6, 2000, she didn't arrive in a comfort or luxury. She grew up in Murenge, in a modest household where every shilling mattered, and where the idea of building a media empire seemed impossible. School was never smooth sailing. She struggled with transfers, repeated classes, and eventually found herself enrolling in journalism at Nairobi's Catholic University. But then the pandemic hit, money dried up, and dreams of finishing her degree collapsed. Most people would have retreated into silence. Not Eve. Around that time, fate handed her an unexpected ally, Director Trevor, a journalism student at JKUAT with a passion for production. He saw something in her, a spark, and pushed her into trying YouTube. On January 21st, 2020, the Mungai Eve channel was born. The beginning wasn't glamorous. Their first video, covering a Madocho Gingatone festival in October, was raw, shaky, and filmed with limited gear. But what it lacked in polish, it made up for in honesty. The channel gained 1,000 subscribers in a single day and monetized in just 3. That's lightning fast by Kenyan standards, and it signaled something bigger. This wasn't just content, it was connection. Eve and Trevor weren't giving sanitized, studio-polished news. They were capturing Kenya's heartbeat, youth culture, street vibes, and unfiltered stories from the ghettos. She interviewed characters like Madocho wa Kanairo, Manzi wa Kibera, and Shanty Flames, people ignored by mainstream media. And the audience ate it up. They weren't just watching, they were seeing themselves, finally. Within months, Mungai Eve's name was everywhere. By 2021, she was pulling in anywhere from 700,000 Kenyan shillings to 1.5 million Kenyan shillings a month from YouTube alone. For someone who had once wondered how to pay her school fees, this was a dizzying rise. But money wasn't the only marker of success, visibility was. She hit 100K subscribers, then hundreds of thousands more. She interviewed music legends like Nameless and Nadia Makami in brand partnerships, collaborated with Autobets, and flashed a lifestyle that made headlines, buying a 10 million Kenyan shillings Kileleshwa house with Trevor and rolling around Nairobi in a sleek Mercedes-Benz. Suddenly, she wasn't just a girl with a camera. She was living proof of how the digital hustle could rewrite destinies. But with fame came firestorms. Viewers began criticizing her style. Some said she interrupted guests. Others complained she asked clout questions. The gossip blogs pounced, Reddit threads flared, and suddenly her personal life was part of the storyline. Her relationship with Trevor, once the bedrock of her brand, cracked under the weight of pressure. By 2024, they split both romantically and professionally. Trevor rebranded their joint platforms, leaving Eve seemingly out in the cold. It could have been the end, but it wasn't. Instead, she launched Mungai Eve Media, stepping out of Trevor's shadow with a bold reintroduction. "Welcome to the new era," she told her fans. She wasn't just bouncing back, she was claiming her independence in real time. For the first time, her brand was hers alone, and every win from that moment forward belonged solely to her. Today, at just 25, Mungai Eve stands as one of Kenya's most influential digital voices. She's no longer simply chasing interviews. She's building a media house with her name stamped firmly on it. Her channel, once doubted, now commands a following in the hundreds of thousands. She's been offered buyouts worth millions, but she's turned them down, choosing to keep ownership and direction in her own hands. That kind of decision is rare in a space where most young influencers are quick to cash out. But Eve has learned the hard way that independence is priceless. Beyond numbers, her impact is cultural. She gave a platform to people who otherwise would have never been heard. She made Nairobi street slang, ghetto stars, and underdog artists part of Kenya's mainstream conversation. And she did it by simply showing up with a camera and the courage to ask questions others wouldn't. Her story is about more than fame. It's about resilience. It's about a girl who failed, dropped out, got criticized, got betrayed, and yet refused to disappear. And now, she's reinventing herself once again. Because if there's one thing Mungai Eve has proven, it's that she's always a step ahead. From Gachiku village to global recognition, she's flipped her struggles into stepping stones and built an empire out of nothing but ambition, grit, and a relentless refusal to quit. And if history is anything to go by, we're only watching the first chapters of a much bigger story.